the orange concentrate where we had a bypass. So we take some of our juice and we send it past one of our unit operations in order to just keep track of what we're working with. Let's just draw a little sketch, and I need to be able to read the assignment while we do. But in this case, we basically have some fresh orange juice and we want to create a concentrate. We want to remove some water. The way we're going to do that is we're going to send in our fresh orange juice. We're going to, I would actually prefer to send that the other way. We're going to bypass some of the juice. The other juice we're going to send to an evaporator where we're going to remove some water. And finally, we're going to mix it back together. And then we have whatever comes out here. Now, the informations that we are being given, we would like to use 200 kilograms of fresh juice. 200 kilograms. And we also know that if we look at the solids over here, they will be 12%. The percentage of water is going to be the balance, 88%. And because we are just bypassing, we're not changing anything here, it's just a simple splitter of the stream. So that means the concentrations over here for solids and water are going to be 12 and 88%. The same for the bottom one. It's going to be solids and water, 12%, 88%. For the water stream where I want to remove my water, well, that's going to be pure water. For my extract over here, I'm being told in the assignment that the percentage of solids in this stream is 58%. Whoa. That leaves me with composition of water of 42%. And finally, my product that I want to sell to my customer, it has to have a solids percentage of 42%, amount of solids. 42% amount of water would be 58%. So that's the system I want to try and see if I can set up in Excel. I am not being given any other information than that. So let's just grab that artwork, see if this actually ends up working. Where was my Excel? And again, I've cheated and set up part of the Excel sheet ahead of time. So we're going to start to fill out the information. I know that I have 12% solids, and for the water, I'm just going to take 1 minus the other percentages. In my bypass, 12%, my feed, 12%, the water is no solids, the concentrate is 58% solids, my product is 42% solids. The totals, the only thing I know is I want to send in 200 kilograms. The rest of them, no idea what they're going to be. And if I want to calculate the amounts that I have, take the total mass, multiply by the percentage, fill right and down, and then I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 unknowns. How many equations can I set up? Well, I have 2 components and I have 1, 2, 3 unit operations. So I would normally expect 2 times 3 independent equations. Let's see how that turns out. So again, system, unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, and I want my totals, solids and water. I'm going to look at my system. What comes in is the fresh oranges. What goes out? Well, that would be, oh no, I have to remove the picture a bit. Yeah. There we go. Sorry about that. That stream enters my system. What exits? Well, that's my water stream and it's my product stream. There we go. My unit 1, what comes in is the total of oranges. What goes out would be my bypass and my feed. For my unit 2, what comes in would be my feed. What goes out would be my water and concentrate streams. And for my unit 3, what comes in would be my bypass stream plus my concentrate stream, and it's only my product stream exiting. And again, I can just fill it to the right, and then we have to figure out how many of them are independent. I'm gonna remove my system. I'm gonna remove that one. And for unit 1, same concentrations in all of the streams. I'm only allowed to use one of those 3 equations that I have written for unit 1. So that leaves me with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equations, 5 unknowns, 0 degrees of freedom. I can just fire up Solver. And I want one equation and only one of them to be 0. I want all of the others here to be 0. And I want Excel to change all of these lovely values. Solve, Excel found a solution. All of my equations are close to 0. Masses are positive. Does it make sense? Sending in 200. And I'm removing a ton of water and left with about 57 kilograms of product. So that is how you start to treat systems with bypass. Again, I didn't really do anything differently compared to the previous streams. There are more unit operations to keep track of, there's more streams to keep track of, but the principle is the same. I start out with a section where I have all of the different streams in my system. What are the concentrations of the different components? What is either the total mass or the total number of moles that are running in those streams? And whenever there's something where I'm like, I don't know, it's an unknown, I just color it yellow, let's deal with it later. And for all of my components, I can also calculate how much there is. And again, I don't care. So when I started out, I don't care that I don't know what the mass of my bypass stream is. The mass of the solids in my bypass is still gonna be the total mass in my bypass times 12%. At some point, I'm gonna figure out what this value is. And when I do, then this will automatically be calculated and be correct. So let's just solve it again so we have it. There we go. And finally, I have a section where I set up all of my equations and try and keep track of degrees of freedom and all of this. So I think that was it for today. Orange concentrate, do a degree of freedom. We did that. Calculate how much water must be evaporated. We need to calculate the percentage of fresh juice that must be bypassed. Okay, fair enough. So if I want to calculate the percentage that I'm bypassing, so we'll do that here, percentage bypassed. Well, I'm just going to take the mass that I'm bypassing compared to the total mass I'm feeding. So that means I'm bypassing 10%, 9.9. So 10% is being bypassed, the rest goes to the evaporator.